Herm Schrader on the Dirty Mo Media platform from the middle of America in St. Louis, Missouri starts right now.
I know you're starting off with a lie already.
You're right. It's a white lie.
Yeah, I'm close to the middle of America, Dittmer, Missouri, and I know you're not in this time zone.
Yeah. I am at my old house and your old house. Where did we live for over 27 years, Kenny?
Well, I was Concord.
Yeah.
Concord, North Carolina.
Yep. So because we did Trackside Live at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on Sunday, Kevin Harvick asked me to be on Happy Harvick, and that's an honor. That's kind of like, it's kind of like when here, I'll imitate you. It's like Harvick asked me to do this. So spent the night with Mom, and it gave me a better reason. Spent another night with Mom, and went to dinner with Brother Mike. And so I want to thank Devin Velicky here at the Fox Studios. That's where I'm at. I'm at the Fox Studios, and Devin set us up. Thank you, Devin, and everybody here at Fox. And that's where I'm at.
I saw those photos of your mama on her birthday. She was 80 what? 80.
So.
But I saw her on the go-kart.
Yeah. So I jumped to conclusion a little bit. I said it wrong, but you're right. So Mom is going to be 88 this month, October 27th. And my point was, my God, she's 88 years old racing a flat cart.
Great.
Okay.
Big week.
Right, this time it's just you and I, which is a little different. Craig Moore is out on family duties, and the show rolls on. Now listen, I know what you did because I saw it. What did you do over the weekend?
We already know.
Well, okay, everybody.
No, we did play days all week and last week. That's for Federated, when we take cars to a racetrack and they bring out customers and we let them drive, and we give them a ride in two-seater, and then we eat lunch and go somewhere the next day to do it. So we did that every day last week, and then got home late Friday night, Sunday, Friday night. So Saturday we just went down to Springfield, Missouri, Jerry Hoffman's track, neat little place. They got a big race coming up in November. We always go to Turkey Derby, which you've been down there with us.
Yeah.
And we just kind of made a little tune-up for that, and we were fortunate enough to win. But we weren't good enough. We won, but we weren't good enough. So we'll make some work on it and go back. So I only got to race one time this weekend.
But you were busy. I saw on social media, your crew chief, somebody said, "Hey, Joey Walsh, how come Kenny Schrader was not at the $10,000 to win at Brownstown?" And Joey answered it perfectly. Schrader's not in town, man. He come in late Friday night.
So it's not 10,000 to win, because it's 10,000 to win, but you got to split that up by 3 nights. So, and then you got to subtract the entry fees and everything. So I'm not a big fan of those multi-day races.
See, that's what I like about you. You always de-bull everything. Yeah,
well, you're
right. It's 3 nights.
It's you didn't have to be there Thursday. That's optional, but you can't really give it up. But you have a problem Friday night. I like running for money Thursday night, running for money Friday night, running for money Saturday night. You have a flat qualifying or in your heat race Friday night.
Oh, yeah, you're done.
You've screwed yourself for Saturday night, not just Friday night. So I'd rather go someplace that has 3 different shows. Now, I do them every now and then, but it's not my preference.
I agree with you, especially when we get older. I mean, yes, it pays $10,000 to win.
Quit friggin' saying when you get older. You are what you are. I don't care how old you are. It's just the way it is, okay? Doesn't make any difference. You're there 3 days whether you're 20 or 60, okay? It doesn't make any difference.
What I like about this, everybody, is I just hit a nerve.
Yes, you did. You're always, I'm this old and I'm doing this. Well, that's just, you don't have to do it if you don't want. That's how old you are.
This is a great
Period.
highlight. This is great. That's what I like about Kenny. He always lets me know where I stand with him. We will never talk about age again. Hey, how
I
old?
won't. You will.
I love you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just stay on this topic just for a minute, and we'll move on to what I did. 10,000 to win. You have to stay here 3 days. You got an entry fee. You got pit passes. It's a lot.
It's
but
a lot.
but the B mods.
But it's a good payoff.
Okay, well, you made your point, and I do like that. Made your point. Okay, myself. What did I do? Well, there was no A mod racing around the St. Louis area. We are, as Kenny always says, there's a lot of racing left, just not every week. And if you want to travel, we could have went to Fairbury, but that was 4 hours away, and it was on a Saturday night. And my responsibility was Trackside Live on Sunday. So we did Trackside Live. And Kenny, I know you couldn't, but I'm just saying, I wish you could experience what I experienced. Saw Harry Gant. He was on our show.
He looked good.
Saw him from 20 foot away, and I thought, damn, I think he can still race. Well, then he started limping a little bit and got the hearing aid in. And then I said, Harry, you look so good. You look like you can race. And he goes, I'm 86. I said, you look good, Harry. And boy, we were celebrating Harry Gant and Kurt Busch. And then, of course, Ray Hendrick, who is not alive anymore. Those three are going into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And Ray Hendrick's kids, they were there. And Kenny, is there any better logo besides yours in racing than that Ray Hendrick logo?
That Ray Hendrick logo with the, I guess you call it wings. But that always very famous and just looked good. It looked good like going fast, just sitting there.
All right, we told you what Kenny did, what I did, and I'll be headed back to St. Louis. And Kenny, let's just start like this. I'm gonna steal one from you. Playoffs. I'm stuttering because the race was so damn exciting yesterday. And if we don't have the playoffs, we don't have those moments.
Yeah, well, yesterday was, with the tire fall off.
Yeah.
Was amazing. We seeing it was like a Formula One race. We're going 2-stop this, or we're going 3-stop this, because of tires. And I watched some of it in the shop. I've watched the majority of it in the shop. And Ann's like, why in the hell would they pit, with this many to go? I said, because they're going to run 4 seconds a lap faster when they come out. And pit stops are so quick now. They do the math. They figure it out. They're better. The playoffs gets decided on for 8th place. The last place in the playoffs gets decided on a tiebreaker, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're watching the race and 3 laps to go, and she's like, this is pretty intense. And I laugh and she said, what's funny? I said, well, okay, stop and think about this. We got 4 races to go in the Cup Series. They're racing between Logano and Chastain. They're racing for 8th place in points. Who in the hell would give a crap about 8th place in the points with 4 races to go if it wasn't for the playoffs?
Yeah. I couldn't have said it any better.
That's why I said it.
But yeah. God, I love you. That's where we insert. This is where we insert. Hey, Kenny Schrader, will you do Herm Schrader? Yeah, my job is just to correct you, right, Herman? Yeah.
Let's correct you.
Let's go back so we can go forward. This is an unbelievable statement that I'm going to say. And I want to prep you for it. The winningest driver this year, tied with Denny Hamlin. Okay, so I know it's a cliche. Denny Hamlin and Shane Van Gisbergen, SVG. Those two have won the most races in the Cup Series this year. So let's go to Shane Van Gisbergen for a minute. Kenny, he just got done winning every road course this year. Not as in here, I want to give my opinion. Yes, he's good, but they got to make all the right pit stops. They can't have any issues. I mean, it's got to be a phenomenal situation for him to win every road course. He's won 5 Cup races. And I get a bigger kick out of the fact that he never wrecked, he never had part failure, and he flat won 5 road course races, and now he is tied with the most wins with Denny Hamlin. To me, that is worthy of hero. That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty amazing that he did that good in all those races. I mean, that he as a driver, but also a big attaboy to the team and the pit crew that prepared him that car and got him in and out of the pits and made the strategy calls to make that work. Now, when it was his 6th Cup win, 5th in a row, all 5 this year, 5th road course in a row, which he tied a record there. You know who he tied?
I don't. Tell me that one.
He tied Jeff Gordon, who won 5 road course races in a row. So guess what? When Jeff Gordon won that record, or set that record, I said, "Oh, that'll never be beat." Well, guess what? That wasn't that many years later.
Okay, so that's our tribute to SVG.
He's great. And the neatest part, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. So the neatest part is he keeps getting better on them ovals too.
Yeah. I think he did pretty good at Kansas last week. He got himself I don't know about Kansas, but I know he's pulled off a top 10 here lately. So he's coming. And okay, now let's go back. We had to, because there's people going, they're not even talking about the winner. I'm like, right, because he's gone. SVG, there's no battle for the lead. That's why they're not talking about him. But all right, let's go back.
But there was good battles throughout the race.
Man, Larson
and Bell. I mean, Larson, Bell, and SVG, right there. And when Larson beat on him a little bit, when SVG got into Larson, and he didn't like that, and Larson made his life miserable for a lap, and then when he got back around him, and then when SVG came the second time, he came without any contact, and Larson let him go. But he made it pretty clear that, okay, I won't. If you can pass me, but not that way. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Hey, same subject, but just got to say this. You and I live in St. Louis now. Of course, you're in Dittmer, Missouri. I'm in Arnold, Missouri. But so I'm down here staying at Mom's house, in Charlotte, North Carolina, whatever you want to call it. And we go to 131 Main to eat last night with Brother Mike and Mom. And we're eating. And all of a sudden, we're just a couple hours removed from the big race at Charlotte. And we're sitting there eating, and all of a sudden I feel a tap on the shoulder. And it's Kyle Larson, Caitlin Sweet, all their kids. And I just think it's worthy of saying that I kind of forgot a little bit what it's like, down here. You see this race play out all over the world, and a couple hours later we're eating, and the guy that made this race so famous, and I do want to say this. I don't want you to get mad at me, but I'm going to say it because it needs to be said. Nobody recognized him, and that disappointed me. Here's Kyle Larson, one of the greatest race car drivers of our era, walks in 131 Main. And I mean, right here in Charlotte, and nobody recognized him. Of course, anybody can think whatever they want to think of it, but I just, that disappointed me.
Did you sure nobody recognized him, or nobody came up and bothered him?
Well, that's what changed then. Because in the day, they would, in our day, they'd say, Mr. Schrader, I don't mean to interrupt your meal, but. So So yeah, Kyle Larson does a hell of a job. They battle it out. The main players are there. Okay. So switching subject, but same subject, everybody. Last lap. Ross Chastain. Now, how does Ross Chastain? He keeps defining playoff moments. He rides the wall at Martinsville a couple years ago. I mean, coming to the checker at Martinsville. Hey, Ross, you got to pass 5 cars. I do. He rides the wall, and that car is on display at Trackhouse. Hail Melon. Okay. So here we are a couple years later. Now we're at the Roval, and they're like, Ross, on the last lap, coming to the checker. Ross, you are tied with Joey Logano. You got to pass Denny Hamlin.
Yeah. But
Here
he didn't.
Himself again.
Yeah. He didn't defy the odds this time.
But he backed up. Did you see that back up?
Because he's not in the chase. You know, if he'd have got in the chase. Now, the only thing, and I watched his interview, and he was very down on himself. So he just didn't do it good. And we had the pit road miscue, and I forget what the other one was.
Miscues.
Yeah. So that's I hate them because it's hard to blame that on somebody else. You know, when it's when the driver makes a mistake. But it looked like the last lap to me that whatever turn it is where they come back out and turn 1 of the oval. That's where Denny got around. It looked like he butchered that turn a little bit, which he was out there on old tires, and I know it's terribly easy to do, but Denny was on him, but he wasn't there yet. And now Denny's interview, because Denny got around him clean stuff, and Ross did the Hail Mary on the last turn, and it didn't work out, and they both wound up losing more spots. But we saw that a couple years ago with Jimmy Johnson and Truex, was it? Truex, at the same situation. In Denny's interview, he said, I had no idea that Ross needed that one spot. I didn't do this and that. And I said, oh, that's hard to believe, but maybe his spotter wasn't. I mean, they weren't worried about 8th in points because they didn't have to be. All I know is it was exciting.
And I just want to highlight this. Ross Chastain had enough self-awareness to put that thing in reverse and hit the gas wide open. And I mean, he backed up. He was smoking the tires going backwards.
Yeah. Well, they said on the TV broadcast when someone else that finished ahead of him did that same thing, but I never saw highlights of it. But someone else had spun there and backed up too. But yeah, it was a valiant effort, but it was it had maybe 10% chance of working when he smoked in there to hit him, on the last turn, because it just wasn't going to work.
So let's play devil's advocate just for the sake of Herm Schrader's show. He smokes in there, and he clearly knows he's going to clean Denny Hamlin out. Just clean him out.
He's going to.
Does NASCAR let that go?
I wouldn't think so.
Right.
If it had a different ending, I wouldn't think so. You'd have to put it in the exact same category as Austin Dillon a couple years ago. Right. It wasn't for the win, but it was to be in the chase.
Good memory.
So I think you'd have to put it in that same category. He drove in where he was in trouble.
He was.
But not as much elbows. Yeah, not as much trouble as Denny was in, but Denny didn't know about it for sure that it was coming.
I tell you what, that's why Kenny Schrader always straightens him out. Good memory, Kenny. So for that if for some reason, everybody, Ross would have not spun out, Kenny Schrader just reminded us that he would have got DQ'd because.
Well, I'm not saying he would have got DQ'd. Well, I'm saying, that it was going to get looked at because it's like, hey, anything isn't legal to get into playoffs. We still have some.
Happened to Austin Dillon at Richmond last year, so it would have been the same thing. Okay, now this one we got to talk about just because I don't understand it. I just don't understand this. There is controversy out there right now. Now, this is funny stuff, and we're both going to go, what the hell? Why are we even talking about this? But it's the way people are thinking. Okay, they're thinking that, now this is them, not me. It sounds so stupid. Denny Hamlin should not have passed him because Joey Logano is a tough competitor, and now Joey's going to win the championship. Yeah, do you understand how weird that sounds? But that's what they're all saying.
You don't. You know, luckily, neither one of them were a teammate.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's a good thing. Luckily, neither one of them teammate. And you know, there's that rule. I don't know how the wording is or what rule, what number it is, but it's like you're supposed to have to drive your car to your maximum all the time. So if he gained 2 seconds on him in the last couple laps and then fouled him around, what do you do there?
And let me add to this, everybody. Let's just give Denny Hamlin a lot of credit. He's not a dummy. He's super smart. I'm not going to play with the fans. You know, the fans have fun. They act stupid. Denny Hamlin's stupid. He's a choker. Well, let me just say this to everybody. If I'm Denny Hamlin, I deny this till the cows come home, because we've seen this in past NASCAR history. If there's talk on the radio and they find evidence that you've changed the outcome of NASCAR, like we saw happen at Richmond. Hey, is your shoulder itching? Yeah. You know, I mean, we all know what happened there with Clint Boyer spinning out on purpose and Michael Waltrip racing going down. So I think Denny Hamlin, in every single interview, whether he did or didn't know, Denny Hamlin is saying all the right things. Look, I didn't know. But I also think it's equally as crazy for everybody to go, well, you should have had Ross Chastain in because he's not going to be as competitive as Joey Logano. And now everybody's like, now Joey Logano going to win the championship. I'm like, y'all are from a different planet.
Yeah. If he does, he just did his job better than everybody else for the last 4 weeks.
Hey, this is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and for the latest Herm Schrader gear, you need to go to shop.dirtymomedia.com. We've got plenty of options for everybody, and we're adding new stuff all the time. So go to shop.dirtymomedia.com.
This next one. Okay, we can parlay everything right here. You know, you and I, you know, it's like it is what it is, and we get frustrated. But there's this talk out there that if Corey Heim doesn't win the championship, it's going to be a tragedy. I said, I got one better for you. Connor Zilisch just won his 10th Xfinity race. So we're going to go to Phoenix, and we got, now there's a lot to unpack here, Kenny. But it's crazy. Connor Zilisch and Corey Heim have both won almost 10 races. Well, Connor's won 10 races. So if they don't win the championship, is it NASCAR's fault?
Well, they both won 10 so far, right? Yes.
Yeah, they can win way more.
Yeah. No, it's not NASCAR's fault, because when we all went to Daytona in February, we knew what the point system was, and we knew what you had to do to win the point system. So if you didn't win it, you knew what the deal was. Now, I heard you on something the other day.
Yep. It's happened a lot.
You know, yeah. Your brother Rusty.
Yep.
With the old tried and proven point system that they had forever, had a 10 race win year. What year was that?
93, I think it was. Rusty won 10 races, and Dale Sr. won way less, and Dale Sr. won the championship. And I want to give you more material because I want to hear your thoughts. 1985, Bill Elliott won 11 races, and Darrell Waltrip won 3. So these people, these fans, I want the true champion. So if we go back to the old days, that means Connor Zilic right now and Corey Heim will have already wrapped up the championship because they're so far ahead in points.
If they want to go, I mean, the people that want to go back to the old championship, it'd be because those guys have already shown they're superior so far this year and won all those races. So, I mean, I can understand that, why they would think that. I can also understand why someone likes the playoffs. It's a preference, and you're not going to make everyone happy, which we found out we can't make a lot of people happy now. It's like yesterday, there was times that the leader was, I don't know, how far ahead did SVG win by? He won, was it 13 seconds or something? Or I don't know what.
It wasn't worthy of showing.
Yeah. But that was because of pit stops and everything else. The racing was great.
It was really good.
Yeah, and the amount of yellows was, guess what? Those guys got it figured out because they didn't have that many yellows.
So I just want to stay here for a minute, and I want to ask for your forgiveness because I know it's aggravating, and it is aggravating to me too. There is this uproar that we know our hero Mark Martin started, and there's a lot of drivers. Keselowski now. I mean, you're not on social media as much as me, but I mean, Brad Keselowski is pissed. He's right there with Mark Martin. He's being as boisterous. There is this crazy phenomenon going on right now. Everybody thinks that and this is what shocks me. If we just change the point system, millions of people will start watching NASCAR again. And I call bull. I think this is the stupidest thing. So you mean to tell me and you are at a bar and we're like, hey, the points are changed. I'm going to start watching NASCAR. Kenny, help me make sense of this.
Well, it's opinions. We're gonna make some people happier if we change it. Some people aren't gonna like it. All I know is I do it every week, and I say it on here quite often, that I'll get some people, older fans. They say, I don't watch it anymore. I said, well, man, you should have. You should.
Well, use it as a highlight reel.
Yes, because it's better now. It's never been this good. I went to that banquet in '85. That was my first full year in Cup. And, I mean, I remember Darrell, Darrell jokingly bust darn people. But it's like, Bill, I'm sorry you won all them races and stuff, and you're not standing up here. I know you're going to stand up here. You're going to have your year, which he did. But that was the old point system. All I know is points are just a way to keep track. However you add them up, but the individual races, you just keep winning those things and see where you wind up.
We can go on, and we'll save it for next week, everybody. But it is exhausting that the races are this good, and people are complaining about points. We're talking points, and the races are this good. It is exhausting. Okay, we're going to go somewhere that we have to go. And I know these are things in NASCAR that are controversy, but we're going to go here because Roger Penske made news. And also, I'm bringing this up because Roger Penske is an incredibly powerful man. He says only things that need to be said. But we are within a month or so. December 1st is the real lawsuit. Well, there was a lot that came out on Friday night. Okay, last Friday night, because NASCAR wanted all the car owners to make a statement, and they all did. And here's what they said. The car owners came out and all of them collectively said this lawsuit must come to an end, because if it does not come to an end, it is going to devalue our sport. The car owners are afraid that somehow the judge could, they're thinking, the owners have got attorneys. There's this thought process that if NASCAR loses, that the charter system could go away and it could devalue NASCAR. Now, one more thing, and this will help. Roger Penske, his statement was this: the new next-gen car is saving NASCAR. It is cheaper because it takes less employees and less cars. And this one threw everybody in a tizzy. Roger Penske said, and the racing is really good. So the captain spoke. What's your thoughts?
Well, that's the captain, and that's one of the 15 car owners.
Good point. Only 15.
Yeah, one of the 15. So it'd be interesting to see, what the comments were from the other ones. I'm not.
Let me tell you about Joe Gibbs.
Okay.
Joe Gibbs said the same thing, but he added, he said, this has got to end. We don't want this. Every car owner said the same thing. We want NASCAR in 2311 in front to settle this. Joe Gibbs said, I am not going to go on the witness stand. I'm not going to speak. He just, he said it. They're scared. The car owners are scared to death.
Yeah. Joe's really in a tough spot there, relationship with NASCAR over the years. And then, my star driver, one of my star drivers, has an ownership stake in the team, one of the teams that's suing. So I don't know. I don't worry about charter system. I know a little bit about the lawsuit. I know that all the owners would like to have more money. NASCAR would like to pay less money. TV would like to pay less money. The sponsors would like to pay less. The owners would like to race for more. I don't know. I don't know. I wonder about charters sometime. It's like, why? You can't just go start an NFL team. You can't decide, I want to own an NFL team and go start an NFL team. You always could just start a cup team. You could say, hey, I want to start a cup team, and people have done it. And you can still say, hey, I want to go to Daytona 500 and buy a used car from somebody and buy your licenses and everything and still go to the Daytona 500. Now, your chances of getting in are slim because of what you're going up against. But, I don't know. I'm over it. Obviously, we're going to just wait and find out what happens, and everybody's got their opinion.
I know that you don't like to talk about it, but when something, I'll ignore it until it's too big to ignore, and that's the reason I had to bring it up. It's when all the car owners have to make statements and it becomes world news because NASCAR is big. It's not like it's a little thing. So we will see, everybody. My opinion is this. It's sad to say, and I don't want to go, well, you should, when people go, what you should do, I'm like, no, what you should do is shut up. That's what I say to people when they say that. But I feel bad that there was a mistake made. NASCAR made a mistake trying to please everybody, and they started the charter system. They should have never started the charter system. NASCAR was being nice. They were trying to, when we look at the great Bud Moore or the Junior Johnson, those guys, when they left NASCAR, there's an old saying, all they had was brick and mortar. And here was NASCAR trying to help everybody out with this charter system. And go, okay, you own a charter. When you want to leave the sport, you can sell your starting position for $40 million. I guarantee you NASCAR never saw this coming. And, you know, and this is all my opinion. They should have just kept it a stronghold. But then again, how can I say that? Because I never in a million years saw this lawsuit coming. But here we are. It's a complete sandwich. It's a disaster, and everybody. It's kind of funny, Kenny. I do want to hear your comment on this. Here's these people. I hate NASCAR. I hate NASCAR. Well, now they're being sued, and now the people that hate NASCAR, they feel bad. They feel bad for NASCAR. In other words, don't talk bad about my brother, but I will.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Sprint car racing, the World of Outlaw group, who's been around for however many years, gives you tow money and obviously a big point fund. I don't know about the High Limits group, but they are going to have charters, and they already have some charters, and they're giving out a few more. I don't know how that works. I don't know. But I know that I talked to a couple good friends that have cars that are out there every week and say, well, when you add up everything, there's not much difference. Now, in 4 years, if you have a high limits charter, is it going to be worth a lot? I don't know. And no one does. But it's hard to believe that. First off, the fields, there's only so many full-time traveling teams, even when you add them up together. So, let's don't screw up that sport too.
We are looking good here, everybody. I've had people comment. Oh, Eddie Balkovic said, "Man, I like the 45-minute show." So we're getting there, but we're not done. Dirt racing, because I did not race. I spent 2 nights up till midnight watching Dirt Vision and watching Flow. I was loaded up with the Pittsburgher, Lucas Oil. You go first, Kenny. I mean, we had Lucas Oil, we had World of Outlaw, we had you.
Well, we had Lucas Oil Pittsburgher, which that place looks amazing.
Love that track.
Big,
so
wide, slick everywhere. I'd love to go there. Then we had the World Outlaw Sprint cars at Williams Grove, which the Pennsylvania Posse won Friday night.
Yeah.
Which is big, but then Sheldon Hodenshield won Saturday night, so the World Outlaws took the Saturday night finale. And World Outlaw late models were at Humboldt, I believe, Friday, and I watched them at Wichita 81 Speedway Saturday, where Bobby Pierce was starting on the pole of the race.
Oh my God.
And they made an air pressure adjustment or something in an area you're not supposed to, and gets to start last and comes back up to 11th. And I think it was 11th, and would have came farther, but the track got real cleaner in the bottom. It didn't look like it really rubbered, but it got real cleaner in the bottom, and everybody migrated to the bottom. And we watched how long it took Tim McCready to pass the lap car. So, I mean, it got pretty hard to pass then. But, man, we had a lot of good races. Pittsburgh paid...
It paid
50?
For the 50,000 to win. I loved watching Devin Moran won that top. I know JD kicked her butt on Saturday night, but boy, Moran was the show both nights.
Yeah, but he didn't. He won Friday night. Devin did, because Friday we were at Smoky Mountain Raceway, which Roger Sellers, Devin's car owner, owns Smoky Mountain Raceway. So it was pretty neat. But just, man, good dirt races. Big money, big car counts. It's not all bad.
I want to zone in on Bobby Pierce. So they say that when you present your car to the chute is the nickname for the starting, area. So, if you,
The
it's,
lineup. Yeah.
here I am, I'm telling the fans, it's like NASCAR. You present your car to pit road and you're not supposed to touch it. You're done. You're done messing with your race car. Well, I didn't know this. The World of Outlaw has this rule in place too. You presented your car to the chute, you're done. And oh my God, Bobby Pierce's team goes and starts adjusting to air pressures. That Kenny, it had to be a brain fade because they run this series every week. They had to just forget.
Yeah. It was costly, but luckily he's still looking good in the points. Now the real points, you mentioned the Lucas Oil thing. Is there 15 points, I think, between Devin and RTJ? Ricky Thornton?
He's leading.
I think it's Devin's leading, I think.
Yeah, it was position by position.
Yeah, and, they both got to get it done and not give Davenport any room, because Davenport will bring his Eldora car to Eldora, which has a phenomenal record. But those three, they're just there every week. It's just amazing.
All right, everybody, we're gonna go out here in a couple minutes, but let's end with something that I think is really cool. Harry Gant, of course, Kurt Busch and Ray Hendrick, but Handsome Harry. I don't know if you got a story. I'm going to give you a little time, but I'm going to go first. We do this once a year, everyone. The Hall of Fame is a really awesome deal. Harry Gant, we have him on Trackside Live. So this is a Harry Gant story. My tribute to Harry. And Kenny, you think a little bit here. So we bring Harry up on stage, and I said, Harry, man, you look good. And I'm bragging on him. I said, Harry, how about that year you drove for Leo Jackson and you guys figured out, put camber in the rear tires and you had the drive plates, and all the machining, all the engineering. I said, what was it like to win those 4? Tell me about that era when you won 4 in a row.
Was it 4 or 5?
Maybe it was. I said 4.
It was a
but
lot.
Here's the punchline. In typical Harry Gant fashion, he said, boy, it was not the camber. It was nothing Leo did. And in front of 1,000 fans, yes, on Sunday, Harry Gant lifts his right foot up, everybody, and he said, it was this right foot that won all those races in a row. I started laughing. I said, man, that is typical. Kenny, Cale Yarborough, Richard Petty, those guys had a lot of pride back in those days. They would tell you. I mean, even Rusty. But Harry was so awesome. Leo had nothing to do with it. It was my right foot that won all those races in a row. That was a recent story. Do you have any?
Well, Harry's right foot definitely had a lot to do with it. But, as we all found out later, it's like, hey, that was the only car with camber in the rear end, too.
No,
I'm just saying it probably factored in somewhere. But Harry Gant was so good. Harry didn't run Cup, I think, maybe. He drove for Mr. Donlevy one time. Might have been real early. Just drove like a race or two. But Harry was a carpenter, and he made more money racing at home and doing his job than Cup. And he went full-time when he started going, and I guess it was the Skull Bandit with Hal Needham and them when he went full-time. But Harry's the one that he gets you after a race. He said, son, you're running 8th. I'm running 7th. Or he's running 9th. I'm running 8th. When he comes up to me, now this is 250 miles in, and no stage points. All right, when I come up to you, let me go. Because while you're jacking with me, we're both losing time to the leader. And we're only halfway through. And they're not getting ready to pay us yet. So we're just racing the leader and trying to stay as close as we can to him. So you don't jack with me, and I won't jack with you. I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But then Mike well, Mikey Waltrip and I are at Cup race at Bristol, and we're sitting on top of someone's truck because we're dumb. We both already wrecked or whatever. And afterwards, his brother wins, and his brothers, they get him out, and they got the car up on the scales, and he's passed out, but we figure he's trying to make weight, And someone else is over there, like whoever runs second is getting oxygen, or third is getting oxygen, and Harry gets out of the car and he's combing his hair. He looks good. I mean, Harry was great.
Handsome Harry. Hey, you bring that up. You knew who else used to comb their hair after the races all the time? Had a comb in the race car.
Quickie.
Yeah.
Well, he was one of the first ones that sewed the little glove compartment thing in
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look in. It was to. I looked. It was to the left of his seat. You look in Alan Quickie's car. It was like a passenger car. He had a little mailbox right here. He just had all his, candy and sodas and comb and good stuff. Hey, we'll end like this. We can go back to 36 races, everybody. But Harry Gant, and I'm going to add, Mark Martin taught us this. You look in your mirror, you see somebody coming, just pull over and let them go. Can you imagine if we did that today? The people would have a hissy fit.
Hey, I just thought about this. Somebody needs to research it. Mark Martin, who finished second in points, how many times?
A lot.
Would he have been champion with this format?
Jeff Gluck, 5 months ago, Jeff Gluck said, it does amaze me that Mark Martin wants to go back to the point system that ruined his championship chances.
Oh, and speaking of that, how was the survey this week?
Let's see. Was the Roval race a good one? I'm going to push yes. 57% say yes, 43% say no, and I have no idea why they think that. It's got to be something other than the race, because the race was good.
Yeah, but the race was good, except they weren't all on top of each other the whole time like we have seen in a lot of the races this year. Now, some of that to do with the road course, some of that to do with the Goodyear tire they brought. But boy, strategy and trying to keep up and who's going to pit and stuff, it wear you out.
They knew before the race, Ross Chastain and everybody told us on Trackside Live, they called it. They did get this one right, Kenny. They said that's what was going to happen. And the tire did not let them down. It did not surprise them. And they knew going into the race that it was going to be, who's going to have the last set of tires left. And it sure did help Joey Logano.
Well, I'm a glass half full guy.
Yeah, me too.
So this race, the approval rating was way down from what we've had in recent weeks. And it was 57%.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we'll take that.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Kenny, I don't have any jokes today. Our partner in crime, Craig, is off, but I think we did pretty good, my friend. And and like we always do, what are you doing this weekend? Shout out to your tracks you're going to, sponsors. What's going on?
I'm going to Denver, Colorado. Oh, we missed a huge part.
What was it?
Yesterday, 81-year-old Bobby Allen passed away.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yes, Bobby Allen passed away.
Great sprint racer.
I woke up this morning. An owner of Shark Racing.
Logan Schuhart.
Logan Schuhart, and then another car they run in a series. He bounced his ass all over the country. He was like the original outlaw. Him and Rick Ferkel, they towed all over. But just did so much. Talked to him last weekend before last, at Sharon Raceway. Talked to him a bunch. So don't know any details yet, but we lost Bobby, which is big.
Our prayers to everybody and that family. Okay, so where are you going?
We're going to Denver Wednesday evening, do stuff Thursday. Denver, Colorado, do stuff Thursday for Federated and come back. And I don't have a clue what I'm doing this weekend because David Stremme is coming into town, and he'll be here Thursday. And I told him, "There's the car and Joey. You go race it." So I know I'm going to be with him, but I might throw a beam out on a ramp truck and run one night somewhere. We don't even know where they're going to go for sure, but looking forward to it.
Well, that's awesome. Maybe I'll be racing David Stremme because I'll be running the Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park. That crazy Josh Carroll, he just won't stop racing. So we're running your old racetrack Saturday night.
What day you got to be there?
Saturday.
Oh, just one day show, huh?
Thank God. and while we're on this subject, he's trying to challenge Jerry Hoffman. Josh Carroll is going to end the year at Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park, November 7th and 8th, 2-day show. Now, I live 15 minutes from the racetrack. Not 16, like 12 to 15 minutes, depending on the red lights. So this Saturday is Peevely for me.
Okay. Well, we'll touch base next Monday.
Yeah. All right. Okay, everybody. As I always say, a little reminder, Herm Schrader is on the Dirty Mo podcast. So you can check us out over there and listen to us as you're going down the road. And if you want to see Kenny Schrader's pretty face, you go to the Kenny Wallace YouTube show and you can look at us. And I have some people that go, "We like looking at you," because that way we can tell when you're being smart asses, are you really or are you just having fun?
Both.
Well, until the next Herm Schrader show, we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.